I think we're getting it, people. I think we're getting it. There's Craig. Okay. Okay. Bear with me. Couple more seconds.
One, two, three, four. I came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really here. There isn't any constant membership. All that you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this trip. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it upon the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
Holy guacamole. I am telling you, these are the times that try men's souls. Yes, yes, indeed. You try to do something good, and what the heck? All right, I am dependent upon you fine people tonight, all of you fine people, to let me know how my audio is. I cannot tell if I am overmodulated. Please let me know if my microphone is good, bad, or indifferent, because I trust you. I trust you. Let me know if it's 5x5 or if I need to step on the gas a little bit. It's difficult to tell. I believe I'm set in the proper zone. Wow, I can't believe it. Okay, thank you, Kraz. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Kindly, let's just take a quick peek around the horn. A quick peek around the horn. Make sure we're up and running everywhere we're supposed to be up and running. It looks like we are live at DLive. That's a beautiful thing. Live at Twitch. Yes. Yes, we are. Thank you, Twitchers. Thank you, Twitchers. Let's look over here at Rumble. Rumble appears to be, it appears to be rumbling. Come on now. Come on now, Rumble. Do it for me, baby. It looks like we're up and running at Rumble. Let's see. Pilled Foxhole, the home of free speech in America. Yes, yes, we are up and running at Pilled Foxhole. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm right. This is a clown show. You found the clown show, LT. I don't know where Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey are in the next room. You should be hearing the Calliope song any second. Let's see. Lastly, are we live over at the Tube? Yes, it appears we are live at the Tube. That is excellent. This is one of those nights where I spent the first half hour holy smoke, half hour. I spent the first 45 minutes trying to get internet and get myself back. Oh, so tonight we're gonna jump right to our guest. I'll be honest with you, people. I hope to do a lot of this in the future. You know that there are many times that I have a guest on this program. Sunday nights. Sunday night guest is like last week. We had a wonderful, wonderful guest in our brother Greenbeard, a very, very interesting fellow. But one of the things that I hope to use this Sunday night platform for is not just, other content creators or platform stars or, I've reached out to a couple of big people. I really kind of hope that they will get back to me. My fingers are crossed. My fingers are really, really crossed. But no, I really want to use this Sunday night to talk to just us, the regular people. Yes, you right out there. You, all these names that I'm reading in the chat, every single one of you qualify for being a Sunday night guest on this program. Did you know that? Well, it's the truth. Every single one of you qualify to be a guest on this show on a Sunday night. It just so happens that tonight we have a young lady who has been, she has been watching this program for a very, very long time, a good couple of years that I know of. The reason I know this for a fact is I have two pictures of her. One is in the original Mystery Ship shirt, which means she must have been around 3 years ago, if she's got one of those. But then later, I think she asked me for a tie-dye no, I think she sent me an updated picture of her just for the fun of it. All I know is I have a couple of pictures of this wonderful, wonderful lady. Her name is Shelby. She goes by the name Sleeping Stars, and she is going to join us tonight. She's going to join us via Zoom. Now, this is a little bit of a new experience for her. She's going to be doing it over her phone. But I have all the faith in the world that it's going to work out perfectly. I feel it. Although we had a little trepidation there at the beginning. Damn it. I'm going to play one of my favorite little breaks, which will give us just enough time to invite the guest. I will fire up the Zoom. I'll see if I can get her up and running, and we'll go from there. So immediately following this bunch of beautiful sailors, and I mean beautiful sailors, I hope that we'll be back with our guests. Shelby, if you are listening, I'm going to play this and open up the meeting as I do this.
Hello, Foxhole. How y'all doing, fam? Good to see you. Hanging out with Zoso Dude. You know who he is. You wouldn't be seeing this right now. So, cheers to you, my friends. Uncle Krusty says hello. Peace out.
Hi, this is Judy the Lady Pug, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Tanette Booth, and you are watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Salty and Nuts, and you're watching Zoso Dude on The Mystery Ship.
This is a Biblicist, and most likely you're going to hell, but not if you watch The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude. Right. This is Ryan, our Cloaked Unseen World, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Hey, this is Leonard with the Shit Show, and you're watching The Mystery Ship and Zozo Dude 77. Enjoy.
This is Sheree Maddox from LJ, Georgia, and you're on The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, everybody. This is Vicki Holyfield, and you are watching Zozo Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
This is Friendly Gator from St. Petersburg, Florida, and you're on board The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
Hi, it's Joelaine, and we're watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude.
This is Gloria Paddock. You're watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
Ooh.
Hey guys, this is Bruce Q. Wayne, aka the Batman from Three Beermen, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with our good captain, Zoso Dude.
This is Andy Girl 13, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude.
Hi, this is Susan Danielle, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
I can hear his commercial.
This is your brother Belushi, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
We got you, Shelby.
Hi, this is Carrie Lake from St. Pete,
Can
Florida,
you hear me?
and you're watching Zoso Dude 77.
Perfectly.
The Mystery Ship.
You're hanging out on The Mystery Ship with our captain, the Zoso Dude.
Hey, it's M1911 Zoom, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
I'm Neoma. And I'm Neo. And you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
I'm EO2 Dave, and you're watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
This is Barefoot Patriotess from Tampa, Florida, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
This is Rob, aka Syllabore, and you are watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
Welcome aboard The Mystery Ship, where we go one, we go all.
All right, all right, all right. It appears that we are up and running. Thank you, Shelby, for your patience. I'm glad you hung in there. It's kind of funny with my Zoom because I have so little broadband here. I give it all to my guests. I give it all to my guests so that you guys can see them. And I'm going to bring you on screen right now. Let's go. Okay, we've got you. Let me switch this over. So what I have to do is I have to switch back and forth here. But we see your smiling face.
Oh, sure.
Welcome aboard The Mystery Ship, my friend. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate you having me on as a guest.
I am tickled pink to be doing this. I hope to be doing this a lot more because, it doesn't, one of my Sunday night guests does not need to be, a content creator or, a basketball star or anything like that. You guys are all stars and you all deserve a chance to set sail with your brother Zoe. It is wonderful to have you aboard. Let me see if I can boost this. Yeah. I'm going to make you bigger. I want them to see your smiling face.
Gosh.
There we go.
Oh, no.
No. Much better. Much better. Actually, we are getting
thank you.
We are getting absolutely wonderful picture and audio from you. Just absolutely perfect.
Oh,
You must, unlike me, you must have great internet over there.
I guess I ended up I don't have a very good one, but I kept calling every month or every year for promotions, and they were finally like, if we just give it to you for this much a month, will you stop calling us? And I guess it worked out that way. So
Shell, I want you to start calling my cable company. My phone company. I want you to just pester them to death because what I have is I am literally running on a telephone line that was buried in the ground in 1968, and that's where my internet comes from. It's pathetic. It is.
Oh my gosh! I think you need an upgrade. I'm on it. I'll do it.
Well, it is.
I'll help you out, Zoe.
It is wonderful to have you with us. It really and truly is, folks. There's a reason. There is a reason why I have invited our guest. Sleeping Stars on tonight, and that is you guys know Sunday nights we pray for our sailors. We at the end of the night we go over, each and every one and update people on progress. Sometimes there's wonderful progress. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's just cruising along at an even keel. And sometimes we get a little bad news. But Shell has been fighting the good fight now for going on 9 months. I had a very long talk with her on the phone today. As you guys know, we have been praying for this young lady for almost a year, at least 9 months that I know of. And I would like her to kind of explain. We'll do it like a conversation between the two of us, but I think you guys need to know, you need to understand what kind of challenges this young lady has been up against, because it is absolutely mind-blowing. Let me start this off by asking you, it was last January, right? Last January is when you first noticed that something wasn't quite right. Is that the deal?
This January, so 2023, towards the end of January was when everything kind of started happening. Yeah.
I mean, what was the first signs that something was just not quite right?
It was without going into TMI. It started off as reproductive and digestive issues almost at exactly the same time. The reproductive one happened first, and then about a week later, some pretty severe digestive issues started. And I've had digestive issues for most of my adult life, older teens, adult life. My family has it too, but this was so different than anything that I've ever dealt with that I felt like something was wrong from the get-go. But I tend to overthink things, and I was trying to see if it would get better, and it hasn't.
So
pretty much.
I feel for you there, my dear, because believe it or not, that kind of let's just comfortably say that lower GI stuff that kind of stuff runs in my family, at least on my dad's side as well. So I've had my fair share of bouts with it, and I know unfortunately my oldest daughter is I don't want to say blessed, but yes, sometimes stuff can get passed down through the generations.
Would use that word.
Yes. So when you realized something was amiss, and you finally had enough to where you went and saw a doctor, did you not? And this is good old regular, a general practitioner, right? Is that who you started out with?
I actually went to an urgent care because I called my mom one day and I was like, have you ever experienced anything like this before with her issues that she had? And she was finally like, if it would help you feel better, would you want to just go to urgent care? Because it was not an emergency room type thing, but it was like a Sunday or a Saturday.
Right.
And we ended up driving down there. The doctor, and there's only so much an urgent care doctor can do because they don't have the means to test everything right away. So he just kind of felt my stomach, and he's like, "Oh, you just need to take some fiber." I'm like, that's it, and good luck. And and I was like, okay, but I've dealt with constipation problems before, and again, this was nothing like I'd ever experienced.
So the
and then eventually, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I mean I didn't mean to cut you off at all. Eventually, you exhausted whatever means you could with the local people, and you decided to bring in the heavy hitter, right? You go to like a gastro. Like me, I have a gastro guy because I've had some surgeries along the way. Some things go along, and I take it you went and found yourself a major league player. Was that the next step in your trouble?
Yes.
And
yes, yes. It was kind of between the urgent care and that doctor. I went to the emergency room 3 times, 2 in one day, actually, because I ended up getting severe stomach pains, like horrible stabbing pains. And it was scary. Yeah, no, I've never had anything like that before. I don't cry with pain very much, but that was rough. And I went, three times in a week to the ER. Everything came back normal. And so they sent me back to my primary care doctor, who then ended up referring me to a GI doctor to move forward with that. Yeah.
And so I know that you, because of our phone call earlier, you spent quite some time with the gastro person. And what did they come up with? What was their findings after?
It was, she was willing. She did a colonoscopy because I do have a family history. My brother has Crohn's and my mom has ulcerative colitis. So they didn't think it was totally unreasonable for someone my age to have a colonoscopy done. I got it done. Everything was completely normal. They saw nothing in there. It was great. And then and the doctor said, if we don't see anything, we're going to diagnose it as irritable bowel syndrome. And I said, that's not acceptable because that's not what this is. That's not what this is. I already just knew that off the top of my head. And between colonoscopy and the endoscopy that I ended up having, or the follow-up for the colonoscopy, I started developing stomach problems. And so this was about in March, I think I mentioned. It got to a point where if I ate literally 3 bites of something, anything, I started feeling full right away. I would get incredibly bloated. It would hurt. I'd be in tons of pain. And I eventually got to a point where I didn't have an appetite at all. And I dreaded eating at that point. It got pretty bad.
You shared with me that it got down to the point where there was only 2 foods that you could even stand, and even those 2 were just teeny tiny bites, right? I mean, what was it you were surviving on?
Yep. I kind of, like I told you, my body, I ended up losing 25 pounds in about 2 months. My body went into ketosis for about a month straight because I wasn't getting enough anything to sustain it.
Yeah.
So I was so the foods I could eat were sweet potatoes, and they had to be mashed. It couldn't be anything else, and they had to be plain. Like there was nothing I could put on them. And the weirdest thing was lamb meat. I love meat. I eat all different types of meat, but chicken, beef, pork, salmon, fish, whatever, none of it. It was lamb was one of the only things I could handle. And then between that, I was also living off of Ensures to get whatever nutrient I could get out of that. And then my fiance, Larry, bless his heart, bought me, to try to kick me out of ketosis, kept buying me chocolate chip cookies. And so I would nibble on those throughout this whole time. So between the month of like March through the end of April, or through April, I was the worst I'd ever been in that regard. And it was really scary, to be completely honest.
I mean, you were a skinny little thing to begin with. I can't imagine you losing 25 pounds on top of that. I mean, I know you're not trying to become a runway model, although it looks like you could. Now that I've seen you up close, looks like you would do a fair job, kid. Well, maybe.
Thank you very much. How red am I turning right now?
I have to say,
thank you, Zoe. That's very nice.
you are whetting my appetite. God, my mother made the best rack of lamb, and that Cross and Blackwell mint sauce. Oh, you got me. Oh man, you've got good.
Oh,
you got the
that
juices
flowing.
Wonderful. I haven't had lamb in so long. I mean, it's funny. A lot of people I know aren't fond of it, but it's a very British thing, and you know, my mom being 100% British. Just a little aside there to lighten it up a little bit. Yeah, I understand now that I understand now that through a small, I don't know, is it just pure luck? Is it being in the right place at the right time? But of all of the people that could have possibly helped you, the doctors and the medical, the GI people, none of them actually came up with a game plan to help you move forward. And you got relief in the strangest of places from someone who is actually a chiropractor. Is this correct?
Yes. Yeah. He ended up this chiropractor I see, his son is a guitar student of Larry's, my fiance's. And so
I see all the
we
guitars
somehow
in the
ended up
background.
completely. I know. I know. We don't have much space, so they hang on the wall. He's also a bass player. We've got a couple more over there too, but this is his little space.
Nice.
But he met this son and ended up, we just kind of got really connected through this family. The chiropractor's wife owns a coffee shop right around the corner from our house too, and so we all just kind of got connected with this family really strange in a strange way. And they ended up the chiropractor ended up seeing my fiance as a patient, and he ended up Larry ended up telling this chiropractor my story and what was going on. And he ended up wanting to see, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. He was seeing me for a completely unrelated reason. I've had some pretty bad neck issues in the past, and that was initially why I started seeing him back in January, kind of at the same time all this started happening. And I eventually sat down with this chiropractor at one point and just explained to him everything that was going on. He even said, he's like, Shelby, even from when I first met you, like, I've visibly lost weight. Like, you're pale, you don't look well. It's like, well, thanks, I'm aware of that. But he cared. And I've seen, I think I told you, if I recall, I saw 9 doctors, not including this guy.
Right.
And all of them, if all my testing came back normal, there was no path forward like this. Well, let's see what else this could be. You know, let's try this, let's do that. It was all just shrugging their shoulders and going, well, you're fine, good luck. And it got to a point where even my general practitioner basically, like, she didn't outright dismiss me, but the last time I saw her, she was like, I really don't know. She's like, I want to help, but I don't know what else to do for you. And to hear a doctor say that to me, and this is a naturopath,
right?
That was really discouraging.
Yeah,
and so I'm not seeing her anymore.
Yeah, I can
for that.
I can only imagine. Earlier today, I shared with you that that guy who was one of my best friends in the world. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But this man fought the good fight like I have never seen, and he had a rare form of cancer. They called it an orphan cancer. There were only 13 known cases of my buddy's type of cancer in the freaking world. That's how rare it was. And his doctor eventually got to the point where the doctor said, look, I've used every tool in my box. I don't know what I can do for you. You know, they wanted to continue with chemo, and he'd had enough of that. And he lost his hair and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So he ended up looking for specialists, and he did find one, but I helped steer him towards the holistic end of things, CBD oils and all that. And he had the time to research and did a fair amount of it, and he ended up treating himself from what he read all about the Simpson oils and stuff like that, and really kind of surprised his time. He went back to see his original doctor a year later, and he had managed to shrink the orphan cancer down to next to nothing. And the doctor was astounded.
Wow.
And the doctor, of course, took all the credit, saying, oh, it was I told you it was the chemo I put you on. And he goes, no, sister, no, it was something that I looked into. And I understand that at this point you are at the point where you are going to start exploring other avenues for treatment, correct?
Yes, mostly because like I said, this chiropractor, we talked about it earlier today, and like I said, I'm pretty sure Steph knows this, if I recall correctly, because she kind of works in this area as well. But he works with laser therapy, And when I first heard about it, I thought it was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, really? Why would that work? But the first day he has these lasers. He can change the frequency. It's red, purple, and green colors for that. And he can change the programming on it to adjust to a certain body part. If it's like, your pancreas or your small intestine, or you can have a bruise or arthritis or anything, he can program it to that. And he determined where on my body needed it. And I laid on that table with him for like a half hour or an hour, and he was determined to get me to eat again. And when I went home that night, that was the first night I had an appetite in a couple months at that point. And I was able to eat, and it didn't hurt completely. I was able to eat more than a couple bites. I didn't feel full, and I had seconds. And that was absolutely incredible to me. And he stopped actually doing adjustments on me and focused all on that. And it got to a point where I did get, I have never been 100% better, but I was able to stabilize my weight and kick out of ketosis, and I was able to get more energy and some strength back, but I still can tell that something is not right. And so that was huge to me. And I cried. I'd go home and I'd cry a lot to see, because he was also offering this basically at no cost to me.
Wow.
And he did not have to do that. And so that was one of the most humbling things in the world to me, that he cared enough about somebody to just want to get them better. And so I know we talked about that. In June, we had a vacation planned that we had planned since the beginning of the year. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen, because it was a whole week we were going to be gone. And the way I was feeling, especially in April, there was no way I could have done that. But he got me to a point where I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can eat. I can, I don't feel sick all the time. I'm doing great. And what's crazy to me is this entire time I haven't been able to work because of it. And then kind of a backstory on top of it, I think I called a couple of years ago because I got let go for not getting the jab. And these past couple of years have been really difficult, because there's employment in the state with that is just kind of ridiculous. You probably know in Oregon too. It's a huge struggle. Yeah. And so and then on top of it, I got sick, and so I haven't been working. And I finally got to a point where I felt like I think I can do at least something part-time. And so I decided, okay, when we get back from this vacation, we'll go, I'll look in like the temp agents something, because that way it's a temporary thing. I can choose not to do it if I'm not feeling good, blah, blah, blah. The day before we left on our vacation, I saw this chiropractor, and when I finished my session, he goes, "Hey Shelby, can I talk to you for a minute?" So he calls me into his office, and he goes, "So I just wanted to throw this out there. We need an assistant to help me out in the afternoons." He's like, "It's incredibly part-time. It doesn't pay very well." He's like, "But I think you're the perfect fit, and I wanted to ask you to work for me. It's like our second appointment together, because I could just tell that you were this great person." I feel really weird saying that, because I don't feel that about myself. But the fact that he noticed that was one of the most amazing things that I've ever experienced in my life. He didn't want to interview. He didn't want a resume. He didn't care about any of that. And the fact that he wanted me, and he's like, "But you got sick. So I wanted to make sure that you were better before I offered this position to you." And he waited for me for like 4 or 5 months to get better, to offer me this job.
That is, if there's anything, sister, if there's anything that I can agree and sit in amazement at, is that there are some absolutely beautiful people in this world. As I mentioned to you today, I finished just today. I sat down and hand wrote over almost a couple of dozen letters to each of the people who helped send me back home. I mean, I was across 3,000 miles from home, no idea what I was going to do next. The next step for me having gone to an emergency hospital and having them run tests, and the guy says, look, the next tests are invasive tests, and if we find that you have an obstruction and you need a stent, he goes, we're slapping you on the table and putting it in. Do you really want to do that 3,000 miles from home away from all of your loved ones? And I was faced with a choice right there. And he goes, I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but if I was you, I would be on the next plane back home, and I would be in the which is exactly what happened. I flew home.
Absolutely.
I checked into the hospital 12 hours later after flying home and spent 2 days in the hospital. And the whole reason it happened is because of the just amazing people that watched this show. They took up collections and sent donations, and it just, I mean, it moves me to my soul. It makes me cry when I think about it. That's why I wrote them all, and I said, look for something special for me in the coming weeks. But I had to at least let each of them know that they are the most special and most wonderful people ever. It moved me just right to my soul.
Definitely.
And I think that is what you found in this wonderful
it's amazing.
man. First of all, it sounds like his treatment is unique. This you said he uses like a laser light kind of treatment.
Yeah, he has these little handheld lasers that almost look like a couple of them look like cell phones, and they're super expensive. But yeah, he would sit that thing on me for like an hour or half hour, depending on the time, and that seemed to do it. And it sounds so weird and wooey, and I never would have believed it if I hadn't have gone through it myself.
Yeah.
But apparently it's starting to get recognition from the FDA, and so it might be used more, not that means a lot, but it might start getting used more
right
in medicine, or however you want to say it. So that was kind of what opened my eyes to like the alternative treatment stuff, because it was like, like I said, almost every doctor I saw was throwing prescriptions at me left and right, and the one in that they gave me for my stomach made even worse. So yeah. I don't react well to things like that. And so that's kind of why I started thinking, and a bunch of people, especially some people in the chats too, were saying, have you ever tried acupuncture? Because that, like, for pain management, for even digestive issues and certain things, it's absolutely incredible. And I have exhausted all my options for the modern, Western medicine, whatever you want to call it. And I think a lot of us share kind of the same opinion, but it's failed me in this part. It is so disappointing to just have supposedly medical professionals just go, I don't know, you're fine. But I'm not fine.
As we talked about earlier today on the phone, I mentioned that back in I believe it was the 1920s, 1930s of last century, Dr. Royal Rife was a small town doctor from Elkhorn, Nebraska. This guy was famous not only for the microscopes that he created microscopes that could see way further down than anything people had ever seen before. And he learned that frequency had the ability to change molecularly, and attacking cells, he could isolate and treat certain cells which had never been seen before he created these microscopes. He was able to fight forms of cancer that had previously, like you said, that doctors threw up their hands and said, don't know what to tell you, kid. So this guy was a forerunner. I mean, just a trailblazer in his time. I believe it was Tesla who said, the world, when people understand frequency, they're going to understand the world, and it's amazing. It is just freaking amazing. I think you're at the point now where Well, I mean, I can tell you that men like Dr. Reif, and it is where, fast forward all of these years, that's where places like St. Jude's, the Hospital for Children, and what's the other one? I mentioned it earlier today. The City of Hope. That's where.
Oh, yeah.
That's where these doctors who think outside the box. That's where they work, and there wouldn't be hospitals like that if it wasn't for regular doctors throwing their hands in and saying, "I don't know what to do next." There are some doctors who just.
Yeah.
They're few and far between, but they feel driven to take that next step and figure out, no, there has to be an answer to this. And Dr. Royal Reif was one of those people. So the reason I've asked
we
you
need more people like that.
Yeah. The reason I've asked you on the show tonight was to let people know that your adventure is actually just starting. We're hoping that we can. I noticed that on all the channels they are posting your. I think it's a Give, Send, Go, or is it a?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give,
so
Send, Go.
I know from previous experience on this very program right here, we have been able to help a number of families, people, in times of need, and these people. They know no bounds in their giving. I love each and every one of them. If I won the lottery tomorrow, every last person who watches this show would never work again. But I'm telling you, folks, if you look in the chats, I think you will see that there is a link going around for a Give, Send, Go. I'm not kidding you. $5 means a lot. If each of the people in here gave $2, $5, $10, whatever you can afford. This young lady needs to see some kind of change in her life, and it's not going to come from John Q. MD. It's going to have to come from somebody special. What exactly what do you think your next steps are? Where do you want to go next?
Currently,
you want to try acupuncture?
Yeah. That is, acupuncture is the biggest thing that people have been suggesting to me. And unfortunately, like I said, I work, and this is kind of my backstory to that too. Working has been wonderful, and I'm so thankful. It's incredibly part-time, but it's also, I'm on my feet all the time, and it's incredibly hard on my body. It's a very physical job. And so I'm finding myself kind of slipping backwards again. Like food is becoming more difficult to eat, and I don't know if it's because of the job itself. I don't know if it happened either way, but either way, I can feel myself going backwards, and I'm trying to catch this before I get back to that horrible place I was in April. And so it's really hard to ask for help, but alternative medicine, especially with the insurance that I'm on, is not covered at all.
No.
So I do want to pursue acupuncture, at least to see what it can do. I had an initial appointment with one last week, and it was absolutely incredible. We dipped a little bit, it wasn't cheap, but I wanted to try it just to see if this is something I really wanted help with. And it was absolutely incredible. She also does like deep tissue massage and certain things like that. And so I have no idea if this will help. I am praying that it provides some relief, if anything, and can at least keep my digestion back to where it is. And like I said, and after that, I'm not quite sure. Amethyst Cat has a friend that does hypnotherapy, I believe, and that is something that I've definitely considered as well. It's just, I'm kind of at a loss, and that sounds so silly, and I feel, like I said, I feel horrible asking for help, because there are so many people out there that, and in the chats too, that have so much more drastic life things happening to them, and there are people that need it so much more than I do. but I've had the encouragement of a lot of my friends in these chats to go for it. And so if it wasn't for their encouragement and their kindness, I wouldn't have done it.
I'm telling you, sister, that
that's possible.
one thing that is
ahead,
one
sorry.
thing that is amazing about these sailors on these different platforms is it doesn't matter what your needs are. You know, we rise to the occasion around here to help one another and to point help in the right direction. You know, people know people who know people, and they discuss things. And hey, I heard of this girl. She can't keep anything down. She can't, you know. And next thing you know, connections are made, and it's amazing. It's amazing how it works. But honestly, I think that I'm hoping that your little visit on this program tonight will prove worthy of you being able to go and seek some alternative measures there, because we love you around here, kiddo. We freaking love you around here. I want personally to see you. I want to see you thrive and survive and get back to eating a turkey dinner by Thanksgiving. Okay, that would be my
Oh my
dream
gosh,
for
that's
you.
a great goal.
Let's hope that it works. And the other thing is by sharing your story with all of these people. I mean, that there's X amount of people on this platform, X amount of people on that platform. We're on 5 different platforms here right now. Maybe somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who's had a similar scenario, and maybe, word will spread, word will get back to you, and hey, try this, or try this doctor, or call this person, or call this specialist. It's amazing. And word of mouth is also one of the most amazing things. So we really wish you the best, kid. I'm so glad you were able to join us. I hope the next time that we have you on here, you're sharing your success story and say, "So you can't believe it," I mean, that's what I wish for you. That is what I wish for you.
I hope so. Yes, I very much so. And thank you so much for having me on. And I feel awful that I haven't been in the chats as much as I used to be, but I'm just, I'm exhausted all the time with all of this that's going on. And, but I think about you. I pray for everyone all the time. I love everybody, and the kind souls that have helped me out through this have been absolutely incredible. And I wanted to say real quick too, I don't know if Val's in the chat at all at this point anymore, or like right now tonight. I haven't seen him around, but if someone can let him know at some point. When I was at my lowest point was on our birthday, because you and I share the same birthday. I was the sickest I'd been, and Val did a birthday stream for me where he had a couple people do some birthday shout outs, and that honestly, I don't think I've had a chance to say it to him yet, but that really meant the world. Everybody, like, it brought my mood up so much, and it really made a huge difference, and I just have to thank everybody for that as well.
I
so
think
that little side note.
That is absolutely wonderful, and Val Kimber is that kind of a guy. I hope he is finding good success with his show. He's a great dude. He is if there's ever the epitome of a Southern gentleman, I would say if you open up your Funkin' Wagnalls, there's a picture of Val Kimber right there. Truly, he's a class guy. Well, I'm going to give you the last word, kiddo. Thank you again for joining us tonight. I'm so glad you were able to make it. I'm glad this Zoom it worked perfectly. You look great.
It worked great. Yes.
I'm sorry that you're not able to see me, but we can see and hear you beautifully, and that's all that really matters. So, thank you for joining us again. Any last words you want to share to the people out there?
I appreciate you all so much for hearing out my story, and even if donation isn't possible, prayers mean just as much. And thank you again for having me on Zoe and for everyone just taking the time. It really means the world.
It is my pleasure, little lady. My pleasure. It is actually quite an honor to see you in person. I had hoped to see you, on my motorcycle trip. Sorry that it didn't quite work out that way. I was a little disappointed as well that my trip ended up, I had to cut it in half. But next year I will get
but
around.
We wanted you to be safe and healthy, Zoe. So that's what matters.
I know for a fact I did the right thing. God steered me in the right direction, and so did a whole bunch of beautiful people. So, anyway, thank you for joining us tonight, kiddo. We will look forward to your updates, and I want to say a special thanks to our friends Amethyst Cat and our dear sister Steph, Artist 61, for alerting me to Shell's needs. I'm glad we were able to do this. Really, really am. Thanks so much for joining us, kid. We will see you on the flip side. Okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Zoe. Bye.
Have a great night, kiddo. All right.
You too.
You betcha. Well, that was Shelby. She's known as Sleeping Stars. We've had her, she has been a member of this chat room over on DLive. My goodness. Actually, I think she predates that. I think she goes back to the old YouTube days even. But a sweetheart of a girl, and she's really in need, folks. If you have the ability to send any little thing, I'm telling you, $5 goes a long way. If you can do a 25 or a 50, that would probably mean the world to her. I'm going to scrounge up what I can and send it her way as well. In the past, we've been able to help a number of people along the way doing this. It's I learned the hard way. I used to have these fundraisers, and send it here and I'll send it on. And what ends up happening is, I end up getting taxed and all this crap. And the best way to do it is just send the money directly to the person who is in need. And that's any fundraising I'm ever going to do from now on is going to go that way, because I learned the hard way. It doesn't pay to be a nice guy. It really doesn't. Anyway, thank Shelby so much for joining us. That is a beautiful thing. I'm kind of disappointed that Val didn't get to see her in person. What a sweetie. What a sweetie. And she looks great. Damn. Good-looking young lady right there. I wish her absolutely the best. We're going to be remembering her in prayer tonight. I'm going to take a second, folks. I've got to get something to drink. I am just absolutely dying of thirst. So I'm going to play a little break here, and I'll be back. I'll be back immediately following this with a refreshed tongue, and we will finish the last of this show after that. I'm so glad you're here.
Why do we sail upon the mystery ship? 'Cause we never know where we'll go next.
Well, this is the part of the show where I take a moment to just thank the amazing people that watch this show. One of the best ways that you can help this show, believe it or not, I know that not everyone has the ability to donate financially, but I'm dead serious. Just spreading the word, just saying to other people, hey, there's this crazy biker guy, and, you know, he's got this show that's, you might find it interesting. It's always something different. It's always something unique. It's always something crazy. He's a wacko. Give him a watch and see if you like him. And that means, seriously, that means the world to me. Absolutely the world to me. I'm not kidding. I spent probably 3 hours sitting and handwriting individual letters to each and every person who helped get me home. I was in a tough place. I really was. I really didn't know what I was going to do. But I have to say that without the beautiful people out there, I don't know what I would have done. You blow me away. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for any way that you prayer. I'm dead serious. Even if it's something that you have never tried before, I'm not kidding you. The power of prayer, folks, is a force to be reckoned with. All you need to do is believe that it works. And I assure you, I freaking assure you, it works. If this old dirtbag could turn his life around, I assure you, my mother lost a lot of skin off of her knees praying that I might come around one day, and I finally did. It's nice to see her settle down a little bit. She's not as on edge as she used to be, although she does worry when I'm out crossing the country on my bike. There's nothing that'll ever change that. She's a mother. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? If anybody has the ability, and I know one thing's for sure, even as little as a year ago, it seemed like it was a lot easier to donate to people, to help people out. I try to help people out when I can. All of us have commitments, and God, every time I turn around, this bill's going up, that bill's going up. The dollar isn't worth crap anymore, thanks to Let's Go Brandon. And man, times are tough. But every little bit helps, people. Every little bit helps. $2-3 helps. So whatever you can do to help our dear sister Sleeping Stars out, I really appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. You are wonderful. And prayer is a wonderful thing. We have a number of people who are in need of prayer. I'm gonna start tonight with our dear sister Sleeping Stars. Would you please remember this lovely young lady and her plight? Please pray that she manages to hold food down. That is her problem, folks. She can't. Nothing stays down. She told me at one point she couldn't even keep water down. Okay? Water. The very essence of life. She wasn't able to drink water. I ask that you pray for this young lady. Pray for her healing. God can work miracles. God can just wave his hand over her and she'll be normal in the morning. But we need to, all of us, pray collectively. The power of our prayer is just amazing. Please pray for this beautiful young lady, that she be healed, that she be led in the right direction would be my request. Please keep her in your prayers. There's a young lady, and I don't want you to laugh at her name, okay? Because people choose their name. I mean, look at my name, Zozo Dude. What the hell does that mean? Okay. But this young lady, she goes by her handle. Her handle is Bitchtoria, but she's anything but, people. She is a sweetheart. I don't necessarily know the background of what she is going through right now, but I don't need to. God has been generous to me. He has granted me some kinds of discernment, and I can just tell that something is amiss in this young lady's life. Something is producing difficulty for her, and I just want to see it go away. Would you please keep our dear sister Bitchtoria in your prayers, that in some small way her burden might be lessened, that her life might be made a bit easier. Your prayers can do that. Your prayers can most definitely do that. Our dear brother, Gary Flessner, I spoke with him on the phone last Sunday for a good, 40 minutes or so. I love this guy. He's such a crusty old turd. He really is. He is somebody who he won't stand for somebody to say no. He just, you're not going to tell him something's going to go. When this man makes up his mind, you're not going to change it. And that is what has kept him alive for the last 13, 15 years. He has been battling a very destructive form of, it's not muscular dystrophy. I think it's called GR. It's brutal. Okay, you lose your motor functions. His eyes flutter and his lip hangs, and he can't even grab onto his walker to walk across the room to the freaking bathroom. It is a bear. And he had it under control. He had it under control for like 8 years. And then this recent bout where he broke his hip, and then during the course of getting his hip fixed, when they brought him back, they re-broke his hip. It's just, the story is, it's brutal. It's brutal. I just ask that you pray for our dear brother Gary Flessner, and that God heal him swiftly, quickly, and that, more importantly, that God restore his strength, because that's where he's hurting right now. This is a former strong man, a guy who used to have, guns out to here, it's tough getting old, people. But this guy, he's not throwing in the towel. Please keep our dear brother Gary Flessner in your prayers, that his life might be made a little easier each and every coming day. Man, am I thirsty tonight. Seriously thirsty. Oh, man. Our brother Dave Mick is a fine sailor. I met him on my cross-country journey. Actually met him on day one and was amazed at his progress for a guy battling leukemia. This is another tough hombre, people. This is a guy who is, you're not going to give him any kind of ultimatums or tell him how things are going to work. It's going to go according to his timeline, and that's it. But he's going to have a ways to go. He's going to have a ways to go. Please keep him in your prayers. This leukemia battle is a lifelong one. It's not a 6 months, 9 months, a year, and it's all done. It's going to be forever. And Dave Mick is a great dude. Please keep him in your prayers. There's a young man who goes by the name of Trey Fulton. He is He had an operation that it's most difficult. The best options for him are if everything goes just absolutely perfectly, he only, according to the doctors, has a 25% chance of living a normal life. You and I both know that God doesn't believe in percentages. Your prayer can change this young man's life. I ask you to please pray for this young man, Trey Fulton, that he live a long and fruitful life, despite what odds man might give him. It's in man's puny little brain. With God, anything is possible. Trey Fulton, a very young fellow. I'd like us to please continue to pray for the Fishburne family, Amber and the kids, Leonard's family. It's still almost it just seems surreal sometimes. But the holidays are coming up. The Halloweens and the Thanksgivings and Christmas. It's going to be a tough time for this family, celebrating those holidays for the first time without Leonard. I just pray for them. I pray that their pain is reduced in some way. I really feel for them. Would you keep the family keep them in your prayers, people? They need it. They really need it, and they're going to need it. They're going to need it. Our dear sister Leah Worth is another beautiful, beautiful friend. I've known that girl since the days of Craig Mason being on YouTube and the Joey Mormon show. A wonderful girl, and another young lady with just all the odds against her. All the odds are against her. Would you just pray that in some way, some small way, her daily struggles might be lessened? That's all I ask. That she just take it step by step, day by day. Our dear sister Peggy Dancer is a wonderful friend, one of our Quite Frankly people. She has also been struggling. It's been over a year now. She was bitten by an Asian beetle, and different things affect people different ways. This kind of turned her life on end. Would you please continue to pray for Peggy Dancer that if the doctors make the right moves and that she feels better, that her health generally improves, that God just wraps his loving arms around this woman would be my request of you. Just pray that God heals her. Oh, Dave and Cherie Maddox. Dave has been fighting cancer. His wife is a guru. His wife is someone who researches and looks under every stone to find a possible cure for the husband she loves, and she has been doing a remarkable job through her holistic methods. Even his doctor is amazed. They've shrunk the tumor. They have shrunk the cancerous tumor in Dave, and Dave is just giving it both barrels. He's getting better each and every day. Please continue to pray for both of them. That Cherie keep up the fight, and that Dave just keeps putting one foot in front of the other would be my request. Our dear sister, One Blue Iris, Robin Murphy. We all know her. She's also been around since God was a little boy. She has had her fair share of ups and downs. It was just about a year ago that she lost her husband. And things are tough. he was her main caregiver. She too is battling a number of things. Just in some way, please pray that in some way her burden is lessened. One Blue Iris. Let me see. Our sister, our Charlie, has been it's been a bit of a rough year for our Charlie. Her foot, I just saw it the other day. I can't believe this. Sometimes medical practitioners make some mistakes, so they took some sort of cyst off of her foot. Should have been a very simple process, you know. Cut it open, remove the cyst, sew it back up. She goes home. A couple of weeks later, it's all healed. That is not at all what happened. Her foot got wildly infective. It swelled up like a balloon. And I was over there the other day. It almost looks as though, you know, when there's inner stitches and then outer stitches, the inner stitches they use are supposed to be the type that, you know, naturally rot after a week or two. Kind of looks like they might have used the wrong stitches on the inside. I'm no professional, but I just pray that it works out for her. I pray that her foot heals. And I ask that you keep our dear sister, our Charlie, in your prayers as well. Our dear sister Patricia Serdal is another longtime friend of this program and many other programs. Red Pill 78, Craig Mason, she's all over the place. It's been a while since I've had a chance to check up with her, but I know that she also underwent some kind of tremendous weight loss and had the doctors just stymied. She went in and had some testing. The good news is that the testing that was done, there wasn't any, she was particularly concerned with her kidneys, and it turned out that there was no problem there, so she's okay, but it's still, she's on a journey, folks. Please keep her in your prayers. There are two ladies I know that are fighting breast cancer. One is our dear friend Minnesota Gal. She's a longtime watcher of this program. And the other is a lady by the name of Liz G. She also is a longtime sailor. They both got their shirts. They've been in the opening montage of Sailors. Would you keep both of these ladies, Minnesota Gal and Liz G., keep them in your prayers if you would. Last but not least, there's two gentlemen who are battling different lung issues. Dolphin 72 and Big Willie. These guys, they got their work cut out for them. Would you please remember them? Remember them in your prayers, would you? That that God just heals them. That God would reach down and heal them would be my request. I'm going to put in a special request tonight. I would like to ask you guys to please pray for Mrs. Zoe. I've shared my story over the years. I mean, you guys know that life hasn't been particularly kind to your brother Zoe along his way. At some point in my younger years, I was run over by a car, and years after that, I fell from a crane. A crane used to pick a guy up and set him up on top of a sign, and the strap broke, and I fell 45 feet. And, oh man, yeah. So my lower back, I've had operations and all that, and I've learned to live with. It's no fun. The older I get, the less fun it is. But Mrs. Zoe, for the first time ever, is experiencing some severe sciatic pain, and the onset of this was as simple as she was sitting in her chair at work and she leaned over to pick something up from underneath her desk, and something in her back went, and she has had a rough few days this week. Would you please keep Mrs. Zoe in your prayers? I just pray that her pain is alleviated in some way. She is also seeing a chiropractor, and she is getting some relief out of that. But Lord knows I spent enough time with those guys. It works for a while. It works for a while, and then it reaches a point where it doesn't work anymore. So keep her in your prayers if you would. I really want to thank all of you people for hanging out with me this Sunday night. And thank you again to our special guest, Sleeping Stars. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, you beautiful people. The Give, Send, Go is being shared one last time throughout all the chats. Thank you guys for your help. I appreciate that. I'm going to drop it one more time. Let's make sure it goes over here to... Yep. Okay, we got it there. We got it here. That's over at Pill. There it is. There it is. Okay. And last but not least, over here one last time. I'm telling you people, the power of prayer is amazing. All you need to do is believe. That's what's so great about it. That is what is so amazing about it. I wish you all a wonderful week ahead. I will see you Wednesday night with another regular mystery ship. And folks, thanks again for coming and hanging out with your brother. So spending some time with me means the world. Thank you to all the wonderful... Oh, well, that might be a little premature here. Hang on. Let's get back to the camera. I almost forgot. Almost forgot. For those of you who watch over on Pill to Foxhole, you know that there is there's a little scratching thing, which is like a lottery ticket, and you can win free money over there. So I am releasing those lottery tickets right now. It's called the Scratchin'. It is hereby released. Go and start scratching that itch on whatever it is that you care to scratch it on. And let's get over to, oh yes, the beautiful, holy smokes, look at these lemons over here. All right, I'm going to have to really drop a bomb on these wonderful people. I am putting a little something right there. Right there. Holy smokes, little Neo came in and just dropped a ton of lemons. I mean, a ton of lemons. Holy cow. I'm going to have to get a hold of that girl. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, here come the lemons, people. Here come the lemons. Coming your way. This is the worst stuff I could ever drink right now, but I need something bubbly. I feel like I need to burp. Ah, yes, indeed. Okay, looks like 5 seconds. 5 seconds to the lemons. Let's see who gets what over here. And, come on. The luckiest followers are... There it is. Amethyst Cat. 373 lemons. Artist 61. Gloria Paddock. Peggy Dancer. And TL Spud. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. That is good news. That is good news. Is Neo in the chat? Little Neo in the chat? I was so busy with other things I didn't see her, but holy smokes. What an amazing 23,000 lemons she donated. Wow. Wow. I'm going to kiss that little girl. Holy smokes. That is amazing. All right, folks. I've taken care of my responsibilities. Now it's time. It's time for me to get on down the road. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I really do. It's time for this old sailor to go meet Barnacle Bob and hobble on inside. Duska, you ready to go to sleep, girl? Let's put her to bed. And we'll see you all on the next exciting adventure of the mystery ship. Thanks for coming by, people. Really appreciate and love each and every one of you. Thanks for getting me home, and thanks for helping Shelby in any way you can. Take care, my friends. We'll see you.